Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do something slightly different, but hopefully you really enjoy. For those of you who are teachers, especially ESL teachers in Thailand or in any other country, I wanted to put together a top 5 list of Christmas, holidays / winter games that you can use in your classroom to help spice up your lesson, and hopefully these are helpful. I want to note that these are games that I used in my classroom when I was a teacher. They are catered to the younger crowd. So I was an elementary school teacher. I taught between the ages of P3 to P6, which is grade 3 and grade 6 in Thailand. And so these games are geared towards them. However, definitely, this is a disclaimer, definitely modify them so that they work with your children. If you need to increase them, increase the difficulty, or if you need to simplify the game, please do so that you can definitely use it and incorporate it into your classroom. So I was a teacher in Thailand, so these are kind of ways in which I can incorporate games to help. I was always taught them as warmers or coolers. So warmers kind of start the class out, and coolers is kind of to end the class out on a game. Okay, so my first game is a super simple but fun game. I played this with my grade 3s and my grade 4s and grade 5s, and they all loved it. And essentially all you need for preparation is a box of some sort. It could be literally a Kleenex box and some wrapping paper. If you don't have wrapping paper, you can use newspaper, magazine paper, or just regular classroom paper. Okay, so essentially what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the gift, and in the gift, each level you're going to wrap, you're going to add a candy or a sticker, anything that you want that you know your students are going to like. My students loved candy, my students love stickers, therefore I might in one level of the wrapping. So essentially if it looked like this, you would just wrap it and then tape a candy there and then wrap it again, maybe tape a sticker there, wrap it again, tape nothing there, wrap it again, tape 2 candies there, and so on and so forth until as many layers as you want. You can put some Christmas music on, and you would just, everyone has to pass the box in the circle, right? So once the box lands on you and the music stops, boom, you then have to answer a review question. Let's say they're learning about the human body, or arms, eyes, nose, mouth. So I might just say, what is this? And then they have to answer, this is a nose. Awesome, good job. You get to open the wrapper. They open it and then they get the prize. Or they open it and nothing was there. Oh, no. And then you put the music on, you continue. This is a great cooler because it's just reviewing everything they learned. Depending on your student's level, it might be just answering with the word nose, or they might be answering with this is a nose, or that is a nose, or so on and so forth. You get the idea. Definitely you can modify that to make the questions harder, easier, to do more communication and talking, like, how are you today? I am fine, thank you. Awesome, you get to unwrap the games. My second game is called Snowball Fight, and essentially I played this game with my P5s, so my grade 5s, and they loved this game. Definitely a disclaimer, this game can make them a little bit rowdy and crazy, so you definitely want to see what class you have. Your really rowdy and crazy classes, maybe you don't want to play this with them because this will just get them extremely rowdy. That's just my disclaimer for that game. Essentially, Snowball Fight can be a matching game. The lesson that they were learning at that particular time was they were learning a can of tomato sauce, a bottle of water, a slice of pizza, and that kind of thing. In all my classes, I really like to recycle paper and not use new paper for activities like this. So if you have a recycling bin, just take out the old paper. Honestly, reuse, reduce, and recycle, because it just would be a waste of paper. Okay, so you can have this pre-written for them, because I just think that would just be the easiest way, and that's how I did it. And essentially it would be have one paper that says a bottle of, or a piece of, or a bag of, and so on and so forth of what they were learning. Again, this can modify so it's using the lesson plan that you're teaching them, but it's a matching game. For example, this one says a bottle of and this one says water. So I would tell them, you get 2 papers, now crush them up, and then for 30 or 45 seconds, I literally will allow them to throw their papers all over. If one lands on them, I told them to pick it up and keep throwing. And for 30 to 45 seconds, they literally had a full-on snowball fight. So they're throwing, they're throwing their papers, and then when it ends, I tell them, okay, pick it up, open it up, and then they have a paper and they have to now find someone that has the matching to it. Once they find them, boom, they sit down and they tell me, like, okay, what is your matching? And their group would be like, a bottle of juice. I'm like, awesome, good job, next group. And they'd be like, a piece of watermelon. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that works, you know, like, a bag of potatoes, great job, like, and so on and so forth. So this is a great cooler, and it's just a great way to review, and it's a good for matching game. Okay, so game number 3 is a classic game, kind of modified for the Christmas celebration. So it is essentially musical chairs. However, I played it slightly different. So this one does take a little bit of prep. So you need to prepare your questions ahead of time. Rocking around the Christmas tree, and essentially in the middle of the musical chairs, I would just have a picture of a Christmas tree, put it in the middle. My students loved playing musical chairs. This is what I would do. I would put a number on each chair. So 1 to 30, or how many students are in the class. And we'll play musical chairs like how you normally do. So the music plays, it could be Christmas music, you know, so music's playing, all the kids are walking around, and then the music stops, they sit. So when they sit, one person is out. The person that is out, I would ask them a question. So going back to the same lesson, let's say they were learning about body parts. I would go, what is this? So this is for, let's say, grade 3, learning about body parts. So what is this? And they would go, this is an arm. Okay, awesome, and they get to sit out. However, because all the chairs have a number on it, everyone who's sitting, I would have the numbers already in a bag, and then I would pull out a number, and I'd be like, number 24. Whoever's sitting on chair number 24 has to also answer a question. If they get it wrong, they're out as well. So it's like 2 people coming out per round, or you can make it more. You can like ask 5 people questions to make the game go faster. If you just want it to be a quick little cooler. So it's really good because throughout the lesson, I'll keep reviewing and being like, okay, what is this? Everyone will be like, arm, head, stomach, foot, feet, and like, you know, so, and they're making sure they're locking in the answers because they don't want to get out, and then the winner of that gives their class team a point, or they get a sticker, or, you know, whatever your students like. I can definitely do a video on rewards and what works in ESL classrooms. If you like, just comment below if you want to see a video about that, and I can definitely do that coming up in the next weeks to follow. Okay, so number 4 on our list of Christmas wintry holiday games is Christmas Recall. So I do this as a listening comprehension. So can you listen and then answer a question based on what you just heard? So listening comprehension and then verbal communication as well, which I like. So what I would do is, depending on the grade, usually it would be a really simple story. On Sunday morning, Santa woke from his nap. Santa was excited and put on his big red suit, right? So something like that. Very simple, very short. And then I would say, what day did Santa wake from his nap? And then they would just have to answer. You could definitely incorporate your lesson into that. So if you're teaching them about clothing, you could be like, Santa put on his big red sweater and his favorite blue jeans. What did Santa put on? Or Santa put on his big red sweater, and what else did he put on? His favorite blue jeans. That's a fun way to put that into your lesson. I wouldn't even call that a cooler. I would definitely put that right into the middle of your lesson, and just work on vocab and listening comprehension. Okay, so my last and final game is a fun game that my P3s and P4s especially really enjoyed. So my grade 3s and grade 4s loved this game. So they were learning about directions and prepositions. So for example, they're learning left, right, straight, which didn't really go with the game. Left and right did, but not straight. But anyways, they were also learning on top of, below, beside, inside, and you understand what I'm saying. What I did was I put my students into, so let's say my class of 30, I put them into groups of 5, so there were 6 teams. Quick math. For this example, it's gonna be 3, but they were in 6 teams. So on the board, I just drew the base of the snowman. Now, each team would then have one person who has the marker, and they're going to be blindfolded. You would blindfold the student, they would have a marker in their hand, and essentially their team is going to be telling them directions on where to place the next circles. So essentially you're trying to get it here. If you can see that, I don't know. But you know, and blindfold, you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be slightly off, it's gonna be crazy, it's not gonna go where it's supposed to. What I did was that I was walking around to each team and making sure I'm not hearing any Thai. You don't want them to be working or saying the answers in their native tongue. You want them to be practicing saying, go left, 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 up, on top of, no, left, right. You want them to be kind of like yelling out the words so they're practicing it. Without even knowing they're practicing it. But one of my rules was if I heard anyone on your team speaking in Thai or their native language, if you're using this in another country, I would erase and they have to start over. So that really stopped them from speaking in their native tongue, and that really helped them practice the English language, which was great. The only kind of downfall is that they're not using the words in full sentences. However, this is just a quick game to help them work on the vocab. Let's say you're doing actually directions, so turn left, turn right, go straight, stop, that kind of thing. Then what you can do is you can have a pre-made maze. And then it's like Santa's trying to get to Rudolph, or Santa lost his sleigh and he's trying to find his sleigh, or something like that. And then you have, again, one student blindfolded and the next one's going to be like, turn left, and it's kind of helping the student get through the maze, right? So that will work on communication as well as listening and following direction. And you can walk around the class and make sure you're listening to, for English, I used to do this and walk around and give points to people who have heard a lot of English coming from their group, because you don't want them to be helping the person through the maze in their native language, because then they're not learning, right? Okay, so even though I said 5, let's do really quick examples of other games that could potentially be used in your classroom. These ones might be more common, and therefore maybe this is why I didn't pick them. But clothing race. So if you're learning about seasons, to make it more holiday friendly, and you're learning about winter, you can definitely bring in some clothing. Yes, I know you're in Thailand and you don't have sweaters or whatever, but what I did is ask teachers in my neighborhood if they had anything, and surprisingly we came up with quite some stuff. And then you could just have them all in a pile, or you can bring a suitcase to school if you're feeling fancy. And essentially it's like, you're going on vacation to the North Pole, Christmas, winter, yay. Okay, so then you can just tell them like clothing. So you'd be like, it's cold, what will I wear? And they'd be like, have to go into the bin, pick out an outfit, and then show you and be like, I would wear a sweater and pants, or something like that. So that was really fun that my students love to do. Is they were learning about, in P3, pronouns, nouns, verbs, adjectives, so on and so forth. So what you could do is pick a Christmas song and play the Christmas song, and then you can have them, you know, circle all the nouns in the song, highlight in blue all the adjectives, underline in yellow all the adverbs, or so on and so forth. So it's a fun way for them to hear the song and read the lyrics, and then kind of make the activity work for making sure they understand and comprehend what each word was. So that was a really fun grammar game to play. My students loved 1 minute to win it, and essentially you put them in groups, and then you give them a topic, and this can be a very great way for you to warm up the classroom and introduce them to a topic. So if you're teaching them about winter clothing, you can see what their vocab is from the start. And this is for my students in particular who are MEP and a little bit more advanced. Their vocab was fantastic. So I'd love to play this game at the start of a new curriculum or lesson, just because I just want to see where they are, so I'm not reteaching them things they already know. So for example, if you're teaching them winter clothing, you'll give them 1 minute to think of as many winter clothing as possible, and they'll go and they'll start sweater, jacket, snow boots, and they'll keep going like that for 1 minute. Other topics, you can be like, you can make it really broad, like winter, and they can go snow, snowflakes, jacket, snowman, skiing, whatever. Or you can make it very difficult, like Christmas, Santa Claus, and ornaments, and Christmas tree, and presents, wrapping paper. That one starts to get a little bit more challenging, and the words become less, so you can definitely do that. But also, every game does not need to be somehow a review game or an educational game of any sort. Sometimes your games can just be there to be fun, and like you have an extra 5-10 minutes of class, kids are finishing their work early, and you don't want to be there just twiddling your thumb. I would do this with maybe Christmas cookies, typically Christmas cookies, like maybe an Oreo or chocolate chip, or I don't know. So it's called Santa's Cookies, and essentially, I don't have cookies in my house. I'm not a cookie eater. But animal crackers be the bomb, though. This is a fun game. So what I would do is I would pick like 3 students, and maybe you could still make this a review game. You could be like, okay, like today we learned about animals. Can someone name 3 animals for me? And you know, they're like, oh, me, tiger, giraffe, and hippopotamus. Awesome. Okay, you can come up here and try to win yourself a cookie. So essentially, you're gonna put it on their forehead, and they're gonna have to try to get the cookie to their mouth without using their hands. Now, this game is hilarious. The students are going to go crazy, and everyone's gonna wanna try. So when I have like 5 minutes, 10 minutes left of class or anything, around Christmas or December, I would call it Santa's Cookies, but any other time you can just call it whatever you want. It's a really fun game, and students love it on the floor. Then, like, I don't know, when you do the 3-second rule, you do the 3-second rule. If not, then throw it out, but waste not, want not. Okay, let's see. Oh, come on. It's stuck on my eyelash. Ah! Some of your kids are gonna do that. It's okay. Okay, so those are my Christmas, holiday, winter games that are also fun to play in your ESL classrooms. Please comment down below if you have other games that work for you. I definitely want to keep the communication going, because I know that when I'm in class, sometimes I am running out of fun ways to keep the class active and having fun while learning. And hopefully this is as helpful as I think it's going to be. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, you gotta let me know. Until next time, peace.